quite cute when I saw it. What do you mean he missed? So they have the DNC, Hillary, Obama, the deep state, which the deep state is the deep pockets. The deep state is the money. The deep state is those groups that are managed by power brokers, and their puppets are the lobbyists. The oligarch only has power based on a fiat currency. The oligarch only can keep power based on resetting the money structure to their avail. So when you see all these other countries, whether they're communist or socialist, or whether they're some form of democracy, they're only complaining and beaching because they do not want the oligarch in the West to master their people, because they want to master their people according to their Elohim's request. Now, all of these Elohims, these gods that they serve, all these different fractions, they serve different gods. Some of them serve the same gods, and sometimes, these Elohims are Anunnakis, humanoids who geno and still are genoing, incubating humans in many different kinds of ways. There's some stuff they're doing that's a little bit unnecessary. However, they're trying to transition humans into pick something, anything you want to be. Pick something. Be a flower today. Be an elephant tomorrow. Be a man today that's in that wheelchair, but you're walking around and you don't have a uterus. But the transitioning part that they're trying to do with the transhuman part is actually with the, like I said in every video thus far, graphene oxide nanomaterials. They put it in food now, bioengineered food, and they put it in pow-pows of recent. And if you don't know what the pow-pows of recent is, well, you might just need to be thinking about what pow-pow you got that shut the whole world down. Because they have a patent on it, and people are sensitive about their patents, because when you have a patent, that means someone invented it. Did they invent it in a lab? Well, where else do they invent things? Just like when they genoed our DNA, Anunnaki, to formulate many different kinds of people, okay, to be slaves. That's the ultimate goal, to be a slave, to be a useless eater. Once they're done with you, get your loosh, get the kids up. Okay, I'm gonna leave it alone. Watch my last two videos. Okay, so let's talk about this. This is illustrator, author Jack Davis. He spoke about this a couple days ago, July 15th, if I'm not mistaken. He did a yin yang on the time frame. So when they push out information, I always look at the time. And the time is a yin yang, it's a 6 and a 9. So that means that he's dealing with duality in his article. Everybody that has a voice inside this game, and they're in powerful positions, not as big as BlackRock, but they're in a position where they can speak to the masses. They're in some type of lodge. But everybody that's in the lodge doesn't mean that they're all on the same wavelength. That doesn't mean they're going to do the same agenda. Please understand that inside the lodges there is conflict. They may have the same type of name, but one lodge may not permit pedos to be in theirs, and some do, and some are Christian, and some are atheists, and some are Satanists, but the whole goal is to serve whatever Elohim or gods with the S, whatever part of the Anunnaki family, demigods, that they have decided to serve. Okay, so it's not about us ever. It's about them trying to be the meek of the earth, or look like they're the meek of the earth. Okay, so it says here, Thomas Matthew Crooks, y'all know who that is, the young fella that's MK Ultra, that's been manipulated through the indoctrinated system of the public school. That's the reason why public school is going to have to be a project that needs to be revamped and changed to give kids an opportunity to learn different ways, and not indoctrinated into a communist, socialist, mommy, I don't want to grow up, Gen Z mentality. That's what's wrong with these kids today. They have been indoctrinated way beyond what we were indoctrinated, like just horrible. Okay, so Crooks, who tried to assassinate former President Donald Trump on Saturday, once appeared in an advertisement for multinational investment company, BlackRock Incorporated, according to Bloomberg. Now, I already did a video on this, 2 or 3 of them. So what I'm doing is I'm looking at other people's thoughts and their speech and their patterns and the frame of mind they have, because I like to look at other people's frame of mind after I've spoken what I know, and I'll agree or disagree with what their thoughts are, what's missing, what do they know I don't know, how do they know what they know. I go into investigative mode, I go into research mode, okay? And I would advise all of my subscribers to be diligent, be those intelligent people that you are, be the players in the game that you are. Awesome players, awakened players, no longer a background player to the extent where you know nothing. Maybe you're a background player because you're watching and you're learning and you're listening and you're discerning, okay? The link was revealed as federal authorities began probing Crooks' background. Interesting last name he has, right? It's all a play in the words, okay? To discern a specific motive for his attack on Trump during a campaign speech in Butler, Pennsylvania. So a butler is a servant, it's a slave, okay? It's an indentured servant, it's someone that serves. So he's serving, but he's a crook, so he's serving the crooks. Everything inside this game, every letter, every number means something. Believe me, I know the bull crap. So it says BlackRock, just like the rock that those people go around in the East, just like the rock that people wear in their head, for their rituals, just like the box episode The Simpsons that Homer Simpson passed by with the burglar, the crook, burglar from, was it McDonald's? The crook with their black and white on duality outfit on with the hat on that Beyonce wears all the time. Her and that other chick, I forgot her name, that sings jazz, who's into dark magic. Beyonce is too, but I don't want to dwell on her because she's just like this boy here, just a puppet. So the 20-year-old appeared as an unpaid extra in a 2020 ad, the money management great giant filmed at Bethel Park High School. In my last video, Bethlehem. Where's Bethlehem? It sits on the 666 latitude spot on this plane of existence somewhere in the East. Okay, so they're identifying who they are. Okay, they did this ad on YouTube too. Okay, please understand what I'm saying. Which Crooks attended before graduating the year the ad was shot, according to the report. The company did not describe the ad, but said it no longer would use it and would be turned over to authorities. So they were still using this ad. Absolutely amazing. They're still pushing a subconscious propagation to the masses. If you are still on television and you have not transitioned over to the tube, you're in trouble, because all of your information is coming from one source. Now, I say this all the time in videos. If you only prescribe to one source for information as the truth, whether it's the television, the dinosaur media, or it's one book, you're in trouble. Now, that may offend you a little bit, and you may pop your eyes out, and you may sit there and roll your neck. But at the end of the conversation, I know what I'm talking about, baby. Been there, done that, and understand that inside of this constructed game, sitting inside of a matrix, in a simulation with 4 corners, like a chess game, with lines on it, latitude and longitude lines, like a www net, like 666 net. Please understand. Oh, girl, just trying to help you out. Oh, girl, trying to make sure you got oil in your lamp. Oh, girl, trying to make sure you're not the unwise virgins because you think you're so wise. Not everybody that's listening to me think they're so wise. But understand, there are those of us inside of this game that actually have eyes that can see and ears that can hear. And a lot of people think that eyes that can see simply mean that they can read something and then they can interpret what it's saying. And ears that can hear, they can hear somebody saying something wrong and then they can tell, oh, that's of the devil. No, sir. No, ma'am. What I'm saying is eyes that can see can decode secret messages. Ears that can hear secret messages. can hear frequencies, can feel frequencies that are dirty, that are low vibration. I'm out here once again presenting a video actually to maybe help some folks. I ain't even saying it because I know that unless you are in a state where you are ready to be awakened, I can't awaken you. It may take 5 years. It may take some situations where your whole system, your whole caste system may have to be shaken. See? Because when cognitive dissonance kicks in, people's minds disassociate themselves from the information given and want to go back into, it can't be that, because if it's that, then that means this ain't true, and that means that somebody played me here, and that means that man has been the orchestrator of a lot of stuff that I thought was orchestrated by Elohim. Yeah, exactly. Just like the clouds. I was watching the video about the clouds, the cloud making machines in Mississippi. Absolutely changed my life. I was like, wait a minute, they taught me in school condensation. What in the hell is going on? And then people be like, well, you know, that's just common sense. Okay, for some people it isn't common sense. Just like when they do the cloud seeding. You'll tell people, look, go study cloud seeding. They'll say, well, that's just to no, it's to control weather. They call it chemtrail. Now the cloud seeding is to control weather, but they add chemicals in there. I think they pay them like $30 per gallon to spray it. The chemicals in this cloud seeding mixture has what is it? Aluminum, barium. It has so much stuff in there to mess with your respiratory system, to make you have mucus all the time, allergies all the time, flare-ups all the time, inflammation all the time. See, slow your thinking down, not allowing you to be the eternal being you are. It jacks up your discernment. That's why you can't just eat bioengineered food and GMO food and unfluoridated. You have to drink unfluoridated water. Yeah, it's going to cost some money to buy a filter. But you got eyes to see, right, and ears to hear, right? Exactly. So, appreciate you listening. Appreciate you being patient with me, because sometimes I have to go there. I'm only speaking to those people inside the video that sometimes come and they want to say, this is the way. And it's like, no, you don't exactly know the way. You just been told this is the way. And I won't argue with people that are not in a way that's not dark. If you're in a way that's helpful and useful, even though it's not the ultimate, victory in the game, but it still will keep you out of the clutches of the clutches of low frequency. It'll keep you out of the clutches of depression. It'll keep you out of the clutches of lasciviousness on all types of levels, like just buffoonerism on all types of levels. Okay, so the assassination attempt on President Trump is abhorrent. I don't know, they keep saying former, but I mean, you give the guys props. We're thankful for former, they keep saying former. President Trump wasn't seriously injured, and thinking all about the innocent bystanders and victims of this awful act, especially the person who was removed from the earth. BlackRock said in a statement, you know, like I said in the last video, BlackRock is to be a void, a one world coming together, because that's what black is. It's all the colors coming together. All colors coming together make black. All frequencies coming together make black. But they want to be the rock that everybody stands up on. And BlackRock CEO is Larry Fink, and Larry Fink is an Aussie Nazi, and Aussie Nazis live on the latitude and longitude line of 666 over there in the land that's doing a lot of chaos to bring order, in order for the synagogue of Satan to be able to bring an apocalypse to this earth. Yeah. All right, so They were talking about the video. Brian DiLello, that was the teacher. I'm sure he's probably some. Let's say he's just in a secret organization. I don't want to name the organization because it's not necessary. BlackRock was denounced in 2022 for having his money to push society to the left. Reminds me of Soros. How these people literally do everything to push you to the left. Now, let's go to this, one of these books that a lot of people depend on. He shall separate the sheep from the goat. So you got the goats on the left. Why? Because the goats think they are the greatest of all time. This is what they live for, baby, competition. They don't use common sense. They want to crush people because they think they're the greatest of all time. And they love the idea of transhumanism because that's called Baphomet. They're goat Elohim. One of them anyway, because he's just one of the players in the Elohim game. Because there are many Elohims, there are many gods who are all of the same bloodline, the same families. And a lot of people don't know God is spiritual. We all spiritual, but they have avatars. They have avatars, and they are gods. You don't have to worship them. You don't even have to see them as gods. You got Enlil, who is Yahweh. You got Enki, who is the brother of Enlil, but he has many different names to all of them do. But at the end of the day, Yeshua. Okay, so if you don't know that, I hope I ain't messed you up a little bit there. One's are old, one's are new, and then you got all the other Tiamat. You got all the other siblings that have been worshipped. You got Isis. You got Estar. You got so many people that are Anunnaki that have been worshipped, and through the time, their father Anu told them they need to change your name up. As they reset, every reset they get a different name, but they still play the same role. Yeshua played the role of Christ. The same. So whatever team you're on, that's the role you're going to play. He was persecuted. Trump looks like he's trying to play the role of on being on Enki's side, Christ. However, a lot of them wrapped up, tied up, tangled up through their females in their family, through marrying the Ozzy-Nazis, and Ozzy-Nazis serve Enlil, and Enlil is very tyrant. Enlil has his rules and regulations, and he will leave you in a dying desert if you don't get your together. That's just Enlil. Enlil's what the kind of bipolar. He doesn't have patience with bipolarism. However, he will cause bipolarism. So that's why I say sort of kind of bipolar. On one hand, you would love him tremendously, because there was a time in my life I did love the God of the Old Testament tremendously. And then I realized, bro, you being a tyrant. And then I realized, oh, that's Enlil. Oh, well, why did they edit the book like that? Wasn't the book edited? Oh yeah, it was. Well, why? Okay, didn't King James get it edited? Why didn't he get it edited better than? No, because that's what they have to do every reset. That's why they're trying to do a reset now. They're going to re-edit everything, and that's the reason why there needs to be truly projects that need to go on that will clear things up, not take us further into the path of non-transparency, but into a path of clearness. When I was a kid, though things were not wholesome, they were not retarded chaos. So yes, the school system, because this child Crooks, the school system needs to be dealt with, because parents need to be able to say in votes at school board meetings, at the PTA meetings, what they will and will not accept at school. Now that's the reason why we have to have variety, diversity kind of schools, because if you don't have diverse schooling and money allocated for your child a certain way, then there will be those people who want to just indoctrinate your children to be slaves and servants. I don't care what race you are. I could care less about skin color, because we're all in an avatar. I haven't seen anybody walk out here with blue skin yet, but that's what the movie's all about. All right, so it says here, Florida Chief Financial Officer Jimmy Patronis criticized CEO Larry Link at the time, according to U.S. Today. He says, I think it's undemocratic of major asset managers to use their power to influence societal outcomes, patrons said. If Larry or his friends on Wall Street, the ones that always get bailed out, want to change the world, run for office. They don't have to run for office, sir. They have lobbyists, and they have, the pimps and the hoes in the White House, the pimps and the hoes that are in Congress and the Senate. Now, if they're not pimps and hoes, and bitches, then they don't have to get offended by my statement. But if they're selling themselves, the ones that are selling themselves, when you sell yourself, you know what you are. I'm not trying to offend you, but you know what you are. When you put your money in the deep freezer and freeze it hundreds of thousands of dollars, when you're taking offers from people that live in Beijing, when you are taking most of the taxpayers' money and putting it in black projects instead of helping to revamp the school system so that the children can be intelligente instead of being dumbed down where they don't even know how to calculate their own budget. Okay? A lot of them don't know how to write checks, and a lot of them don't know how to count money now. A lot of them don't know how to even write in two different ways, print and signature. Okay? Let me continue. Start a nonprofit, he says. Donate to the causes you care about. They are doing that, buddy. They are doing that. They're in a club, a big club, and you're not part of it. Do I need to show that pyramid that they're in? I'll slide that in there right now. So, this is the club they're in, and you're not part of it. You're at the bottom. Please remember that. No, I'm just joking, but you're at the bottom. But even at the bottom, those of us who are seen to be useless eaters at the bottom, all we have to do is understand the more knowledge you have, the more you know how to restrain yourself from the wiles of these people who seem like devils. Okay? See? For lack of knowledge, you perish all the day long, baby. You can't get all your information out of one book, baby. And pride comes before destruction. A haughty spirit before the fall. And I'm quoting that only for those folks that understand it. May your God help you understand. May your Elohim help you understand. You have to get more knowledge. And you got to get more knowledge than from that book. And I'm talking to any religion on this planet. Any personal relationship on this planet. Because that's the scapegoat many people use when you start talking about religion. You see religion on this pyramid. And on the pyramid is right there. You got the six-pointed star. You got the cross, which is actually the inside the earth, the top of the dome, and the flat plane. The equinox. But they ain't going to tell you that. But we so smart. We know all of this, yet we don't understand it. For lack of knowledge, people perish because they cast off restraint. You're casting off, holding back your judgment of what I'm saying, right? Or you're not holding back your judgment of what I'm saying. You're just judging me because you don't understand where I'm coming from. You can't pick up what I'm coming from because you don't want to gain more knowledge, wisdom, and good understanding from knowledge, from books, from listening to other people's experience about this bullcrap game we live in. See, this construct we live in, this matrix we live in, that's all formulated by our understanding. See, we create this matrix, this simulation together. No, not one creates this simulation. Nobody by themselves creates this simulation. I'm glad I'm saying that this morning. There's not one person sitting outside this simulation that creates this simulation. It's us creating this simulation. And that's the reason why they must control the narrative with media, with governance, with churches, with mosques, with temples. See? With black projects, military. There's always those folks that know what's going on inside of all of these constructed instruments. However, there are those inside of these constructed instruments who are innocent, who don't know. And when they find out, they're heart-written, they're broken. And I want to help some of them bounce back, baby. Bounce back. Don't be discouraged that what you may be in may not be as you think it is. I'm hoping that I can encourage people to understand that when the veil is lifted and you see that all things have been penned by the men, I was going to call them wicked men, by self-centered men, by men that want to honor their Elohims for eternal life, then you'll realize that maybe you need to find out what the jig is and not be afraid. All right, so I'm going to continue. I'm really talking this morning, trying not to tap into my emotions, trying to be logical here this morning. Okay, so of course you know I'm also addressing what this guy is talking about. So it says, until his death at the hands of a federal sniper, interesting federal sniper. Now this sniper actually said that he asked the director, Kimberly, of this Secret Service, who you know is friends with Jill. He asked her, "Can I do it now? Can I do it now?" Now they knew this guy was on the premise more than 20 minutes. However, she didn't ask for him to release the shooting until after he shot his gun, his rifle, several times on the platform. That's when she said, okay, you can get rid of him now. So when they say this is pro-Trump rally, no, I don't think it was pro-Trump rally. I think Trump's not doing exactly what the masters, according to the flesh, desire for him to do. And either he's going to serve Enlil's will or he's going to serve Inky's will. Now, sometimes Inky and Enlil do work together, but not for too long, because pride comes before destruction, baby. Halt the spirit before the fall. And because even though they're Elohims, and even though people worship them as gods, they are still humanoid. And they both, all of them, all the sisters and brothers and the cousins have eternal spirits such as we do. They just live longer in the flesh, especially if they live on the planet Nibiru. But a lot of them don't. Okay? But anyway, go look into that. Okay, so he says here, Grimm said he passed a background check and performed his job without concern. So let's see. Crooks worked as a dietary aide at the Bethel Park Skilled Nursing Rehabilitation Center. Administrator Macy Grimm said, according to ABC News, Grimm said he passed a background check and performed his job without concern. Of course, he's not triggered. You know, his graphene, his graphene oxide nanotech material in his body, or he may have actually an insert in his body, has not been triggered by the G5 or G6 technology. Now remember, these people are always 20 to 25, 50 years ahead of us, y'all. So when we hear about some jet or some plane that can go silently, a stealth bomber or whatever can go, they've been had that 50 years. So when you see something, oh my goodness, those are aliens. Yeah, child, that ain't no alien. Please stop being childlike. Please stop being childlike. Please understand that those have been designed by the pens of men. And of course they got their information from their Elohims, who are just humanoids who are deemed as gods, capital G, lowercase g. Some of them are capital G, some of them are lowercase g. Some of them are called the Son of God, some of them are called God, some are called the Most High. So, I mean, why am I talking about Elohims inside of a what do you mean he missed? Why am I bringing them up? How can this be about what their will want to be done? Because they always terraform the earth. They always reset the earth. They always flood the earth. They always burn the earth. Because this is like a playground for them. They burn it. They wipe us. We get sent back here. Reincarnation, baby, is in the New Testament, where, you know, I said in the previous video, when they asked about Yeshua, Jesus, who do they say the Son of Man is? And some people thought that he was alive to come back from the dead, and some say that he was, John the Baptist. So, yeah, if you think about that for a moment and get out of cognitive biases and get out of cognitive dissonance, you'll understand what they're saying. They believe in reincarnation, but why should they tell you? Decode it yourself. You have eyes to see and ears to hear, right? That's what they're saying. When you read that book, that's a decode book. That's a book that's been coded by the pens of men. So you have to, you're going to have to not be in your emotions so much. You're going to have to be into figuring out a way to allot thoughts. You have to separate your thoughts. You have to lay down ideas. Why, when, where, how, because, who. That's what you have to do. And you have to literally write it down sometimes. You have to figure out what the hell is really going on. How could I got played? You don't have to be angry at your Elohim. You can still serve your Elohim, but you got to understand your Elohim at the end of the conversation may only be able to take you where he or she resides, inside this dome, underneath this dome. They don't leave this dome, okay? Because they like playing the game. However, we don't have to be in this dome. You don't have to be in this dome. You just got to understand that you don't have to be in this dome. There's a lot of people playing, a lot of people. But as long as you want to be a child under somebody, they'll continue letting you be a child. Let's see here, because a lot of people like the idea of feeling safe, not having to completely think about their life as their life. They like to give their life to somebody else so that they can be a child, and so they can say, well, mama, daddy, or Elohim said this and it didn't work, or it did work, and my concerns are no longer in my hands, it's in someone else's hands. When you really think about that, that's so irresponsible of us playing in the game. If you think we're in the game, then you don't turn your joystick over to nobody. You can still be on somebody's team, but you have to own your own life. You can't sell your life off to someone else because it's freely given. See? But you can if you want to. I'm just saying, you don't have to. That's all I'm trying to say here. Mm-hmm. Okay, so Kevin Ropeek, Pennsylvania special agent in charge of the FBI, Federal Bureau Agency, interesting, said officials have yet to decipher a political ideology to which Crooks subscribed. Well, he was a Tifa. So I don't know what Kevin talking about. Kevin, are you playing Kevin Hart? Are you being a comedian right now? So they can't decipher, they can't decode the political ideology. Now, why did they say he was a Republican, but he gave some monies, no matter how much the amount was? Did he get $15? Because 15 in gematria would be popularity. I think he gave $15. Wouldn't that be popularity in gematria? I think it is. So that means that Crooks' whole aim is for popularity. Maybe they told him they weren't going to take him out. But I wanted the people to understand that people can say, you do this, you gonna gain the whole world. Well, guess what happens? You lose yourself. Look at it either way you want to look at it. As above it, so beneath it, yin yang it, baby. So, what I mean is, put it in the light, put it in the dark. Either way you spend it, whether you serve Enlil or Enki, there's some deception there, and you don't know the whole story. And he didn't know the whole story. I mean, why would he think that he wouldn't make it out of this, at least to make it to his car, if the building he was on, the local police was in that building, and it's a metal building, so why wouldn't they hear him up there? And the ladder he used was not a ladder you carry, but a ladder that was already attached to a building. And these guys, you would think they should have been around the building. However, this town, from what my husband was saying, isn't predominantly, like, it's not I don't think it's a county that's predominantly Republican. It may be predominantly Democrat. However, surrounding counties will come. So everybody that's at rallies aren't always from the same county or the same parish. So yeah, I get that. So let's continue. I don't want to make the video too long this morning. I have some things I have to do. I did not think I was going to speak about this today, but I'm doing other videos. I'm having to have to post other videos about other things that I do that are more important, like the food that I purchase that's not bioengineered, the food that I purchase that is really organic because it hasn't been processed, the food that I buy from the farmer, the food that I'm trying to show my subscribers how to completely not get vamped into dumbness. Okay? There's a lot of things you have to do, but once you start doing them, it becomes so easy. I know that my channel is what it is, all three of them. None of them are monetized. That's on purpose because I'm a free thinker. I pick no sides. I'm not playing this game, baby. Now that I've awakened to the fact that we're in assimilation, and now that I've awakened to the fact of who the Elohims are, and I've done hours on hours on hours on hours on hours. I'm reading 3 books now at one time, every night, every morning, and I'm filling in gaps. Some of the stuff they're talking about I already know about because I just start figuring out stuff, but I'm getting more clarification. I want to make sure that I am streamlining my information. I'm making sure that there's no foolishness in it. Everything lines up. Everything makes sense. I take no biases. I don't care about biases. I don't pick nobody's side. Could care less. When you're biased, you may miss some you need to know. My best advice is don't be biased. Listen to everybody. Compare, contrast, smile. Keep your thoughts to yourself until you can discern what it is you need to say. All right. So they said we're looking into his background, his day-to-day activities, and any writings. Of course, he was on the tube or Instagram talking about some guy told him to do it. Some older guy told him to do it. Okay. Any writings, any social media posts that might help. Now they removed his post. They cut off. I guess they when they take it offline. So that us people, us nosy people, us investigative people, us thinkers won't go look into it. Because see, what people think is, what regular people think that drink fluorinated water and they eat bioengineered food and get every pow that they offer. What you think is people can't read, people can't think. These people that are in power are not that intelligent. They just sneak it. This stuff is not difficult to understand if you have no biases. But because people think other people are more superior than they are based on the group they're in or based on the skin color they carry on their avatar, I don't think like that. No sir, no ma'am. And I will say no other identification because no sir, no ma'am is all that I deal with. Thank you very much. And we have not seen anything threatening, Jorik said, or Wojcik said. Crooks was somebody who came across as lonely a lot. Maybe if he was on medicine, it may seem like he was lonely a lot because maybe he was in his mind. But a lot of times they use this because, oh, look at these poor children, they're being bullied, so this is the reason why they did it. And the whole time, people like who he was on the commercial with, the ad with, so we're talking about BlackRock, right? They were interested in him. So were they interested in him because he was lonely? Were they interested in him because he was on medication? And we just talking about BlackRock itself. We're talking about all the entities that are underneath the umbrella or underneath the octopus tentacles. Okay? Yeah, that sits on the pyramid. That's what we're talking about. We're talking about all those extra folks. All those other ESG worshiping entities, environmental, social, governance, those folks that want to be popular because they're doing all of the environmental climate change initiatives and they're doing all the social indoctrination initiatives and they're doing all of the governance initiatives, about, where the government tells you that you need them, you can't get along without them. So you need to sign up for this free $1,200 card every month, or this $2,000 card every month. This incentive, this not stimulus, it's an incentive. I see them on commercials all the time on the tube. I'm like, do people really signing up for that? Do they not know if they try to reset this system, they're going to already have y'all? They're going to already have you by the gut because you're not using your brain. Anybody giving you anything free, you better think about it. Baby, ain't nothing but poison candy, sweetheart. It's a fake worm to a bait, baiting the fish. The fish is the bait because people eat fish. You know, the Catholic Church said fish is a meat. But anyway, worm, fake worm to the bait. You're the bait, but the fish is the bait. Anyway, okay. So that if you didn't catch that, well, that's fine. I'm talking about a number 8, a concept, an infinity concept. Anyway, everything smushes into one another. Okay, so Crooks was a lonely fella, Jameson Mayer said. This dude attended the elementary and high school. I need to look into this guy here. Jameson Mayers said he attended both elementary and high school with the suspect. Jameson Mayers. Maybe look into you, boy. Or maybe look into you. The would-be assassin was more social. He is an assassin. He killed the goddamn man who was protecting his wife and daughter, covering them. What's wrong with these people? The would-be assassin. Look, Mr. Article Maker from the Western Journal. Please understand somebody died. He assassinated the darn man. The, what is it, assistant chief who did a lot of volunteer work. Who probably, you know, who knows? They probably shot him just because maybe he was outspoken and he was really active in his church and everything else. You never know. Would-be assassin. He is an assassin. See, that's why when I read these things, y'all gonna hear the truth from me. I'm not biased. I'm gonna tell the truth no matter what. If it offends you, what do I say, my subscribers? If it offends you, that's because you're easily offended anyway. See, I learned that as a child. You know, if you're offended because you're easily offended, you know, I was raised a certain way. That means that you can't blame somebody else because you take offense. It's how you said it. It's how you held it. It's how you raise your voice. It's how you slow your talk. It's how you roll your eyes. It's how your spitlation. No. It's because you're easily offended anyway. You tapping into your feminine side. That's all. And everybody can do that. Masculine, feminine, everybody got it. For a guy, their feminine is lesser than their masculine. For females, their feminine is less than the masculine. I hope I said that right. Okay, he says, I was friends with him. He never acted like, by any means, a political revolutionary. Of course not. Of course not. All you gotta do is get online and let somebody else who's a political revolutionary, Antifa, pump you up. Black Lives Matter pumped you up. Now, the leaders of the Black Lives Matter movement, I'm going to bring this in here just because y'all didn't know, I'm going to drop these coins. Patricia and there's 2 other females. They have husbands, but they're feminists. But also, one of the main leaders, her stepdad was Ozzy Nazi. Okay. And these females, I know one of them was a butch, but most of them have husbands, and I don't know how this works when you have a husband and you turn down men. By no means will this woman right here ever tear down her fine thing. How you doing this morning? I know you're gonna watch my video. Miss you already. By no means am I gonna tear down my sweet thing. Oh yes, he is. By no means am I gonna tear down. When I get weak, he stands there right there with me and keeps me strong. By no means. He's my encourager. By no means. You know, sometimes he get on my nerves, but sometimes I get on his nerves. Why? Because we don't agree all the time. But by no means am I going to tear him down. We're gonna talk about it. We're gonna see who got the right idea. We're gonna decipher. We're gonna say, okay, let me hear your thought. He said, let me hear your thought. Okay. Sometimes we have to write it down so we can see it clear on the board. However, by no means am I going to think my role as a woman is inferior to my husband's role as a man. We're playing characters here, and I enjoy my role. I enjoy my role. Yes, I have a university degree. He does as well, and he has way more career opportunities than I've had because I've had to push these children out for us. So I wanted to play the role of mommy and play it deliciously. I love my children. I mean, you would think that my children, most beautiful children in the world, inside and out. They're just awesome. They're just beautiful. They're just power-packed children. They're determined children, and a lot of them, of course, I still call them children, but I got some in 30s, and some in late 20s, and some in early 20s. And they all come from me, and they all come from my husband together, meaning they all come out from us together. There's no tweaking. There's nobody coming in between us. All of them are his children, and all of them are my children from my body. Okay, I suffered, y'all. I suffered. No, I ain't suffered too much. Because we had good insurance, and some of them I had to get on that death row, 2 of them, and the other ones, smooth sailing, but some of them was a little too big. All right, so his classmate Zoe Maturkowski said Crooks was just a quiet kid. It's those little puff cereal. You can put some brown sugar on them, and then that grass-fed milk is in the door. So that's what Eleazar ate this morning. Say good morning back to the subscribers. Good morning. All right. So that's just part of my life. And if you watch my videos, I do not think that I need to have my videos so professional that I won't speak to my children when they get up. Even though she slept a little late, maybe an actual hour over. It's almost not breakfast time anymore, but I'm going to let her eat anyway. So, he was a loner, as Jason Kohler, who was a year ahead of Crooks in school. He would sit alone at lunch. Now, someone said they saw a video of him laughing and hackling about having an 11-inch private part, but of course he doesn't. But just because someone says you're a loner, just because someone says that you're quiet, that doesn't mean you're quiet all the time. It just means that sometimes you're introverted because maybe you don't want to talk to the people who are a nuisance around you. Maybe they're not into what you're into, and he was into a lot of things that have to be quiet initially to get accomplished, and then when they get in the streets and burning and pillaging and everything else, then they get loud. So they say their voice for when they want to do some hell raising on earth. Okay, Matthew Crooks, the shooter's father, said he was trying to figure out what the hell is going on concerning his son, but would wait until I talked to law enforcement before speaking. So see, this is the thing. He said, according to CNN, that's Christian. No, that's not Christian Broadcasting Network. That's CBN. CNN. That's the crooked news network. The Clinton network. Okay, because truly she was crooked. So Matthew, from what my husband reported on his channel, Matthew is Democrat, or his wife is Democrat. I don't think either one of them were independent. But he said something else in his video, or was he making a video when I heard him talking? Because our setup is near one another. I need to look on my other screen to see. I won't worry about that right now. But understand that him becoming a Republican, him stating he was a Republican, and your parents aren't Republicans, is sort of kind of an outliner. Particularly in the Black American culture, when your parents or grandparents are Democrats, you tend to lean towards being a Democrat. However, a lot of Black Americans that I know are now saying they'd rather be independent or go back to being Republican like in the old days. Because in the old days, blacks were Republican. You had a few that weren't Republicans only because they were never into. The ones that weren't Republicans were, let's say, the ones that owned slaves were Democrats that were black predominantly. So anyway, make sense of that when everything you hear says that it was the opposite. So it's sort of kind of weird. Um, I'm going to drop this in here because I don't really want to do an article on him. But this guy, CNN Van Jones, how he's stunned, how he can't believe that a bullet couldn't stop Trump, but a virus just stopped Biden. Look, the reason why Van feels this way is because Biden has to be removed some kind of way, and these people that's on the screen here, they don't know how to get him to just move out the way. They don't want to. They do remove their own in certain ways. However, he's already been psychologically removed from the game anyway. So they are trying to figure out. I'm sure they're around the Illuminati table trying to figure out how they're going to implement this. Period. Just no way they're not going to try to figure out how to maneuver this in such a way where Biden must have a lot of information on these people that they just are trying to figure out a way not to get smushed through his power pool. Because I'm sure Hunter is like sniffing right now, saying, we got to figure this out. Because they got some pull too. And he got some stuff on Obama. Because, they wanted to make Obama's presidency looks like an angel. Obama brought in all kind of lasciviousness. He brought in all kind of chaos morally. A country can't make it when you mess up their morals. You have to have morals. No, you don't have to be prejudiced against anybody because they don't do what you do. But it cannot be the dominance in the culture. It has to be an outlier. It has to be you being allowed or accepted for what you want to do with your life. But you cannot then, if you're an outliner, come in once people accept you and then decide you want to try to make society go that way. That's when things fall really hard on those people, especially the ABC 123 Mafia, the Rainbow Mafia. A lot of these people are regretting that they were trying to force themselves being important enough to transition children, force themselves in leadership positions from top to bottom, baby, from top to bottom. I'm sure that a lot of these leaders have been in dress, especially I already seen. He was in a dress. Obama was in a stilettos with a purple outfit on, knit outfit. They said it. What is it, New York Times or whatever in magazines, the first gay president, and I was like, did they run that like that? Wow. Well, he shouldn't have presented himself as a wholesome father. What them aren't his kids? Sasha and Malia aren't they children anyway? Michelle Obama's a hermaphrodite, so she wouldn't be able to produce kids anyway. And I found out that she had some type of insemination, but I'm thinking no, she probably didn't. That's probably the other woman, the woman that carried those her children, not Michelle's children. But anyway, y'all, it was just too much. So if you're just hearing this and it's just baffling you, just don't even worry about that part. If it's more than you can bear, just pick up cognitive dissonance right now and just don't deal with it. Let your mind go to sleep on that part, because it might collapse you. It might make you tremble. Like, subscribe to the bell, and thanks for watching. Appreciate you.